see you here.
It's good to see you.
Who is that? Who are you?
I'm CJ Mitchum, and CJ Mitchum is known to be the duster of the town, the duster of Wayward Pines. Basically, he comes out of a animated leave once every 20 years to take care of the structure, all the infrastructure of Wayward Pines.
We should say, because it was revealed at the end of the last season, Wayward Pines is this nice little town that is basically how many years in the future?
We're 2,000 somewhat years in the future.
So the town is kind of frozen in time 2,000 years later to preserve the humanity that we do.
Preserve humanity, and so my job is to take care of the seed of humanity.
And you are the historian, you are the archivist?
Well, sort of the archivist, but I'm really in the field of agriculture, and so I basically take care of all the food supply and the study of
an important job. I mean,
yes, it's sort of the generator after the generator. I'm the generator after the generator.
And does CJ fully understand everything that's going on?
To some extent, but he certainly. He thinks that humanity has, doom itself, and it's.
We did it to ourselves.
We did it to ourselves, and this new generation is certainly the generations to be,
And you have a very, very interesting story. So hopefully you can tell us a little bit about that. At one point, you were homeless. Yes. You got into this industry by a chance meeting. I mean, it's really interesting how things developed for you.
Yes, it did. And well, I was sent from Africa to France to better my education, and so it's sort of like in France, all those dreams sort of like became quite alive. But more importantly, I sort of like I think acting sort of came, while I was still in Africa. I did a play in at school.
Really?
At a very
that
early
far
age.
back?
That far back, very
something
early
you wanted to do?
It's sort of like
well, could there be? You're talking about in Benin.
In Benin, West Africa.
Yes, in West Africa. Were there careers in acting?
No.
Why did you?
It was just a thought that came across my mind at that time, and I thought, this was a vehicle to sort of like for once to. I felt like to liberate its, self, so you could have been all those characters, and
You were exploring.
Yes.
So is that strange for you that you're sitting here in Los Angeles this morning? You have a career. You've been nominated twice for Academy Awards. How strange is that?
It is quite strange. But listen, growing up in Africa, actually, one of the things that I remember vividly, it's a bit having this fear of one of the attributes that define us in Africa. It's sort of like our traditional way of living, which one of them you see its resonance in the countries of the diaspora, kind of like Brazil, Cuba, Argentina, and so on and so forth. And here, even here in America, in New Orleans. And so this tradition was, sort of like made me question my own self, my own existence, and more importantly, also there was something I came up on. Researching voodoo, and then I came up on, Pope Jean Paul II, asking for, forgiveness from Christianity, having to, sort of like a...
You have, by the way, you're doing a documentary on voodoo. When we think of voodoo here, it's either scary stuff, it's the James Bond movie,
Hollywood,
it's the you do that voodoo that you do. New Orleans and all of that stuff. You went back home even for you to fully understand that voodoo isn't as we picture it at all.
No, voodoo is not that at all, and voodoo, I mean, obviously, so many, we have so many people giving, their own understanding and definition of what voodoo is, but really, it's something to be reflected on. I mean, to reflect on when you have a continent that's been indoctrinated for so long, 4 centuries, and 6 centuries later, I'm here questioning, the way of life, that way of life that is...
Yes, we should also point out where you come from. Used to be called the Slave Coast.
The Slave Coast.
It probably gave more slaves.
It was
here.
the main port
That's
of
right.
most
and this
of
is
slave
all,
trade.
the religion was very, very important. And the diaspora you're talking about is basically the slave trade, bringing it to here into Brazil and everywhere else.
To Brazil and
we
to Cuba.
need to jump because we want to mention before you go, Tarzan.
Tarzan, this
Tarzan, that's right. I have Tarzan coming out July.
He's Tarzan.
I believe July 1st.
That's what they say. How exciting. The legend of Tarzan. So you've got a lot going on.
Yes, and that's a grown-up one.
Yeah,
It's a grown-up
All
Tarzan.
right, the
Okay,
season
good to
premiere
know.
of Wayward Pines airs Wednesday, May 25th, right here on Fox. Djimon Hounsou.
Pleasure to meet
have
you.
you.
What a story you
Thank
have.
you. What a story.
Yeah.
All right, coming